It's Poku Banks, baby.
What's up, guys? It's Poku Banks, baby. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we've got the one and only Mr. Jazz Rose. Mr. £30 to 3 million.
Yeah.
How you doing, man? Everything
bro,
good?
I'm great, man. Life is amazing, bro.
Like I was saying before the cameras are on, this house is great. You guys can't see it, but you can just tell by the floor. You can tell by the plants. You can tell by everything. It's just a great house. It's one of the ones where when you dream as a kid, it's one of the ones where you want to dream of and you eventually get it. I wanted to start off by simply your journey and how you got to where you are, just, you know, where you started off from.
Yeah, I grew up in Harlesden, in NW10.
Wow.
Yeah. Rough streets.
Wow, already. This is going to be a good one.
I grew up in Harlesden, man, and it was a pretty rough environment, right? Yeah. To keep it calm. And I remember my grandma always used to say to me, listen, if you lay with the dogs, my grandma was Jamaican, so she was like, "When I lay with dogs, when I must catch fleas," you know them ones. And like, I always knew that I couldn't lay with I couldn't run around with the bad dudes. You know what I mean? And she always say to me, "You know what? Or you can soar with the eagle." She was like, "I better plop with the chicken there, because soar with the eagle and my yacht." So I always knew like to hang around with smart people that were doing powerful and positive things. You know what I mean? And that for me was like the start of my journey, because in Harlesden there was a lot of creativity going on, a lot of artistic stuff. And then I moved to a place called Perivale when I was like 8 years old. And that was super cool, but it was like super quiet, super calm, right? Like serene. Everyone had like 2-parent families, big houses, not massive, but like big houses, and like green areas and all that sort of stuff. So it was a total contrast to me. I didn't really know what was going on, but yeah, I first kind of had my first experience with money when I was 12, and my mum said, "Here's £20. Go to the shop, get me some milk." I was like, "All right, cool, no problem." Put the £20 in my pocket. Being an aspiring footballer that I was, took the football with me, did the kick-ups all the way to the shops, thought I was Ian Wright in that. Looked in the pocket, no £20 note. So I was like, all right, cool, let me just like look around the floor for it, let me look around the shop for it, couldn't find it. Went home, couldn't find it, went to my room, just like went straight to sleep. Mum knocks on the door, "Where's the £20? Explained to her, it's not there. It's the first time I saw tears in my mum's eyes. So that was the first time I learned that money has a massive influence on how you feel, like your quality of life. So I made a commitment. I said to myself, you know what? My family's never going to have to worry about money again. And that was the start of my journey.
Wow, just from £20. That's actually big. And how did she ask for the milk?
Yeah. She was like, "Where's the milk?" I was like, "I don't have it." She was like, "Where's the £20?" I was like, "I don't have it." She was like...
So then, okay, so in terms of your relationship with money, has it always been healthy? So from 12, you notice, okay, it's important, but has it always been healthy? Yeah.
So from that point on, I knew that I needed to I didn't know it in the same language that I use now, but I knew I had to manage my money appropriately. And my mum was extremely good at managing money. My mum didn't like make a lot of money or anything like that, but she was extremely good at managing money. Like she just knew how to keep everything patterned up. My mum had it was 4 of us, you know what I mean? So my mum like did extremely well, man. That was just like the trigger for me to, you know what, make your money, have multiple streams of income, and manage your money really, really well.
That's good, that's good. So then fast forward on to your first business. When did you feel like, okay, I need to start something where I can make money, not normally from, you know, giving away your labor for, you know, a paycheck, but to actually employ people or just to, you know, start a service or whatnot?
Yeah, it started pretty casually for me because I was an aspiring footballer. That didn't quite work out for me. I was playing at Wycombe Wanderers as well as a few other clubs, didn't quite work out. And I was looking for jobs, so I was handing in my CV, Woolworth, Sainsbury's, wherever I can find it. And no one would employ me. So then my mum was like, "Listen, you ain't sitting around here trying to pretend to be some professional footballer, you better go out and make something of yourself," sort of thing. So a few of my friends were doing sports coaching, I got into that, and I just realised I had a knack for it. I had a knack for teaching the kids and all of that sort of stuff. And that was how I started my first business, because one of the girls that I was working for, after about 6 months that I was working for her, she was like, "Jazz, you're doing an amazing job here, but I'm leaving, I'm going into full-time teaching. So just take over this one school on a Monday afternoon, teaching the kids sports and whatnot." I was like, "Cool." She was like, "All you got to do in addition is hand out the flyers." So I was like, "Cool." Handed out the flyers. I had like 20 kids in a session, charging £2, 15 to 20 kids in a session, £2 each, £30 a week. And that was the start of the journey. But after that, I got really good, and then I started doing more flyers to more schools, more people were recommending me and so on and so forth, and I started to build my reputation from there.
Oh wow, that's great, that's great. And then I even seen on your Instagram how you built it further and further. And now you employ many people now, many schools, and you even have a book as well on how to teach people PE as well.
Yeah.
When it comes to the book now, what benefits would you say you gain from making the book for those watching, the entrepreneurs and those looking to start their own social media brand?
It's another form of leverage. It's another form of leverage. It's another form of getting your foot in the door and saying, this is what I've created, this is who I am, this is what my brand is, this is what I represent. And it immediately triggers people to associate you with a high quality, with a high standard.
Respect.
Yeah. There's an immediacy of respect there, because when I was coming up, and I know like a lot of my friends started off in the coaching game, and with respect to all of them, they all pretty much stopped after a short period of time. But for me, I was more about education as a whole, like holistic learning. So I really honed into that, and I got extremely good at it first and foremost, got so many different qualifications. But I used to go into schools and they used to say to me, well, you don't have a teaching degree, for example. I used to get that a lot. So then I had to go out and prove myself. And then one of the ways that I started to prove myself was like, let me come in, let me demonstrate. Let me send my teachers in, let them come in and demonstrate. So that was like our kind of flow of consistency, and that's what helped us to scale from literally just being me, myself, to actually having a team of up to 150 people, educating up to 50,000 children every week.
50,000 children. You probably
a lot of responsibility.
You might even educated me. You might even educated me. You never know.
You never know. You never know.
Indirectly, but I wanted to ask now, what would you say was one of the most expensive mistakes in that business you might have encountered along the way?
Expensive mistakes. I made many, as you can imagine.
Or expensive lessons that you might have learned from, like, you know?
I'm not sure if it was the most expensive, but I'll share a few with you that come to mind. One time, I had a financial manager. I was getting too busy. I was like, someone else deal with the finance and whatnot. And I walk into the office, and then the girl, let's call her Catherine. Catherine goes to me, "Oh, Jazz, did you get the 10 grand I sent you?" "Sorry? What 10 grand? And she was like, yeah, I sent you 10 grand. You sent me an email earlier on. I said, "Catherine, I didn't send you any email." And she went, "Oh, shit."
Oh, damn.
So I went, did my research, found out what happened, found out that she sent 10 grand to some random person on the internet who had faked my email address and said, "Please send me 10 grand urgently." I was furious. So that was one of the big mistakes that I made.
Wow, and how would you say you rectified that? What did you learn from that? Did you put anything in place to like prevent it?
Do you know what? It was one of the kind of triggers that taught me that, you know what, there's nobody else that's in full control of your financial life than you. You've really got to start to put protocols and systems in place that safeguard your finances and make sure that whatever it is that you do, you protect what you have coming in. You've got to have a cage around it. Do you know what I mean? And that doesn't necessarily stop negative things from happening with money, but you've got to put as many processes and protocols in place in order to prevent that sort of thing from happening. And then you've got the long-term ones of sort of employing the wrong people, that sort of stuff. And you've got all of the sort of challenges that come with that.
Yeah. That's very true.